mountain of books before me wasn't just paper and ink. It was a monument to my own failure, and its shadow was threatening to swallow me whole. My name is Leo, and just a few years ago, I was a student of engineering, lost in the vast, echoing halls of a prestigious university library. I had arrived full of ambition, but that initial fire had dwindled to a cold, gray ash of anxiety. Every textbook felt like a locked door, and I was fumbling with 1,000 wrong keys. My method of learning, if you could call it that, was one of brute force. I would chain myself to a carrel for 8, sometimes 10 hours at a time, fueled by bitter coffee and a growing sense of desperation. I'd try to cram entire chapters into my head, rereading the same dense paragraphs until the words blurred into meaningless symbols. My mind was a battlefield, with thoughts of inadequacy and the fear of falling behind launching constant assaults. The more I forced, the less I understood. The knowledge was like water cupped in my hands. The tighter I squeezed, the faster it slipped through my fingers. I wasn't just struggling, I was drowning in a sea of information, and the shore was nowhere in sight. The breaking point came on a Tuesday afternoon. Sunlight streamed through the library's grand arched windows, illuminating dancing dust motes and golden shafts of light. It was a beautiful, peaceful scene that only amplified the storm raging inside me. I was staring at a page on thermodynamics, and it might as well have been written in an ancient, forgotten language. A frantic hummingbird of panic was trapped in my chest. My breath grew short. The quiet rustle of turning pages around me sounded like a mocking roar. I slammed the book shut, the sound cracking through the sacred silence like a gunshot. Few heads turned my way. Humiliation washed over me, hot and swift. I buried my face in my hands, ready to surrender, to walk out of that library and never come back. It was in that moment of complete defeat that a gentle voice, calm and steady as a slow river, cut through my internal chaos. "Quiet mind," the voice said, "is the only vessel that can truly hold knowledge." I looked up to see an elderly man with kind eyes and a tweed jacket that had seen better decades. He was Mr. Alistair Finch, the head librarian, a man who seemed to be as much a part of the library as the ancient oak shelves. He pulled up a chair, not with pity, but with a simple, unassuming presence. He didn't ask me what was wrong. He didn't offer study tips or platitudes. Instead, he said, "Do me a favor, son. Close your eyes, just for a minute." Hesitantly, I did. "Now," he whispered, "stop trying to fight the noise in your head. Just listen. Listen to the library. What do you hear?" At first, all I heard was the frantic thumping of my own heart. But as I focused, other sounds emerged. The soft creak of a floorboard upstairs, the distant, rhythmic thump of a book being stamped, the almost imperceptible hum of the fluorescent lights. I listened, and as I did, the frantic hummingbird in my chest began to slow its wings. The storm in my mind began to recede, replaced by a quiet, observant calm. "Before you try to absorb the world on the page," Mr. Finch said softly, "you must first find the stillness within yourself. That is your foundation. Start there. Always." That was my first lesson. Before every study session, I would take 5 minutes. Not to review notes, but to simply sit, breathe, and listen to the symphony of the quiet. When my mind would inevitably wander to my fears or my to-do list, I wouldn't fight it. I would simply acknowledge the thought, like a cloud passing in the sky, and gently guide my focus back to my breath, back to the present moment. It was amazing. For the first time, When I opened my book, the words weren't a wall. They were an invitation. My second lesson came a week later. I was stuck on a particularly complex structural analysis problem. I had memorized the formula, I could write it out perfectly, but I had no idea how to apply it. I was frustrated, falling back into my old habit of trying to memorize the what without understanding the why. Mr. Finch saw my furrowed brow from across the room. He ambled over and peered at the equation. "Ah, a classic," he said with a smile. "Tell me, Leo, what is the story this equation is trying to tell you?" I was baffled. A story. It was just numbers and symbols. He pointed to the diagram of a bridge. "Forget the formula for a moment," he instructed. "Why is that arch shaped the way it is? What is its purpose? Happens to the weight of a car as it crosses. Where does that force travel? Don't recite the answer, explore it. Be a detective. Question everything." For the next 2 hours, I didn't look at the formula once. I drew pictures. I imagined myself as a tiny particle of stress traveling through the steel beams. I asked myself why at every step, and then it happened. A flash of insight, a genuine aha moment. The formula wasn't a random rule to be memorized. It was the beautiful, elegant conclusion to the story of the bridge. I finally, truly understood, and with a calm mind and a quest for understanding, I was making real progress. But the sheer volume of my curriculum still felt like a mountain I had to climb in a single day. I was back to planning marathon study sessions, convinced that was the only way to cover everything. Mr. Finch noticed this too. One evening, he placed a small 25-minute hourglass on my desk. "The mind is a powerful muscle, Leo," he said, "but even the strongest muscle needs to rest. You are treating it like a machine, and it will burn out." He gestured to the hourglass. "Give this problem your absolute undivided attention for the life of this sand. When the last grain falls, stop. Close the book. Get up. Walk to the window and watch the world for 5 minutes. Stretch. Get a drink of water. Let your mind rest. Then and only then, come back and turn the glass again." I was skeptical, but I tried it. That first 25-minute burst was the most productive I had ever been. The short break wasn't a waste of time. It was a reset, allowing me to come back to the task refreshed and sharp. I had discovered the magic of breaking down a mountain into a series of small, manageable stones. The weeks turned into months. My grades improved dramatically, but more importantly, my relationship with learning was transformed. The library was no longer a place of dread, but a sanctuary of discovery. The day before my final exams, I found Mr. Finch tending to a small bonsai tree on his desk. I thanked him profusely, telling him that his wisdom had changed everything for me, that I finally felt ready. He smiled and gestured to the tiny, perfectly formed tree. "I am glad, Leo," he said. "But remember, this little tree did not grow this strong from one big, intense flood of water once a month that would have drowned it. It grew from a small, patient watering every single day. Your exams are just one event. The real strength, the deep-rooted knowledge, comes not from the intense cramming before the storm, but from the consistent daily practice. Persistence is quieter than passion, but it is far more powerful." I passed my exams with results I had once only dreamed of. But the grade on the paper was not the true prize. The real victory was the framework Mr. Finch had helped me build. It was the understanding that learning isn't a battle to be won, but an art to be cultivated. It begins not with opening a book, but with quieting your mind. It thrives not on memorization, but on the deep, curious exploration of why. It is sustained not by grueling, endless hours, but by focused, intentional bursts of effort. And it is mastered not in a single heroic sprint, but through the gentle, unwavering power of showing up day after day. The mountains of knowledge still stretch before me, but I no longer see them as monuments to my failure. I see them as a magnificent range of peaks, waiting to be explored, one calm breath, one focused step, one day at a time.